Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are live. 13 out of 15 channels. We should get that other channel back here in 2 or 3 days, something like that. I don't know what day I'm getting that channel back. It's no big deal. I don't get a lot of views on that channel anyway. That is I think it might be the original YouTube channel as well. I'm not 100% sure. That's been taken down. Um, so, uh, so we're live. Hello, welcome to the show. I don't know if those notifications went out. No. No notifications, so that would be why there's no one here. Um, yeah, so I don't know if anybody's even going to know that I'm live if the notifications didn't go out. I don't know what to do, if I should start over with a new channel. I think that they can read freaking hacker code when you replace letters with numbers. I think their program, they're freaking, the 3 is an E, the 0 is an O, the 1 is an I. I think they've done that so they know. Hey, Joel, did you get a notification that I was live, Joel? I was going to be talking about something I saw on Twitter this morning, but it looks like the algorithm won't allow the title, which is possible. Yeah, you got a notification? Oh, so they notified one person in Australia that I was live. Okay. Hey, Joe Hinckley got a notification. Jojo, baby. Hey, well, since it's just us, we can go crypto, right? Since you're the only ones here, we could talk crypto. Cool. So Bitcoin made a big bounce, 21,003. Ethereum is at 1,700, which is great. I remember one of the guys that used to watch the show, he said he was selling off his Bitcoin at 1,600. And I was like, that guy's not being patient at all because it's going to go back up, to $5,000. And if you're holding Bitcoin at 1,600, you might as well just hold on to it long term and ride it all the way up. It's going to go. They're saying that Ethereum is going to surpass Bitcoin in value. So that could mean that Ethereum could go 20, 25,000, and you're going to sell it at 16. I remember laughing about that and thinking, man, no. You sell a little tiny bit, maybe an investment that you were making a short-term thing when the price goes up above where you bought it. Yeah. But don't sell your entire stash because this market can change, and it is changing right now. I don't know what the hell's going on right now, man. Shit is just going crazy. China just announced a big some sort of a problem with their economy. I don't know. I didn't read it. I just saw the headline, but there's something else going on with China. That's not good. We have a huge wall at 21.8. We must retest it. If it fails, 14,000 around the corner. Okay, so don't acquire if it's going to go down to 14. If it's going to go down to 14, that's when you acquire. Right? Don't pick up now. So we're just going to wait. And if it goes up to 21.8, we could sell some off too that we bought at 18, and then reacquire at 14, which I don't mind doing. But, it's just a little bit. I'm just talking about a small amount. I'm not talking about, even a whole Bitcoin or anything like that. Sean, good morning. Sean, let's turn on the talkie. Oh, text to speech is on. So let me check the audio here. Audio is on. Speaker is on. I don't know why we're not hearing anything. Huh. Maybe turn it off and turn it back on again? Okay. Somebody say something in the chat so I can at least hear it. See if it's working or not. Nobody wants to play ball with me. Iceman. Okay, Iceman said it. And nothing. We got nothing. Iceman, what's up? Good morning. Give me a second here, buddy. Frying Squirrel, good morning. Hey, Frying Squirrel. Let me go ahead and restart the chat on a different browser window. Not that one. Not that browser window. Let's try this browser window right here. Not that one either. That's incognito. Here we go. Let's try this one. Chat. Let's see if we can get that chat sound up. Okay. 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 The chat sound should be up. Good morning, everybody. You can see I've got the window open here. What? I got the window open. It's nice outside. I took the dog for a walk. My hair didn't get all frizzy.
The King. Morning, Nay. Got all 9 notifications.
Teresa King, you came back to the show. Holy moly. You've only been gone for like 3 years. What brings you back? Just kind of wondering. Let me know. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see an old viewer come back to the show, man. Yeah, I remember that era when you were coming. We had a lot of people back then, a lot of cool regulars that used to come to the show every time I would go live. You were one of them. And that whole what would you call that?
On AKA Trendy Orca. Excellent podcast.
Thank you,
Teresa
Sean.
King. Been really busy and family stuff.
That whole era of people, it's just kind of vanished. That was David C. Baker Jr. And you remember, God, there were so many people, man. There were so many people back then. There were regulars, and none of them come to the show anymore. It's all new people now. Better people.
One SMF.
Rox,
Good
what's
morning,
up?
kids. Hot beverage.
I think people got upset with me.
Teresa King. Yes,
a lot of people got
a lot of people.
People got upset with me because they found out that I wasn't a full-fledged Democrat or something.
Smoky McPokey.
And I lost
Busy
a lot
honeybee.
of viewers. I don't know if that was it or if it was something else. It was around the time I got Bell's
Aaron
palsy.
Hyde. What's going on, Nay? Good morning.
Hey, Aaron. It was around the time I got Bell's palsy. Most of the people stuck through that, and then they watched me heal, and everything was great. And then after I got over the Bell's palsy, it was like everybody disappeared. It's weird.
Saranda H. Nickchi. Hi.
Saranda. Hello. That's an interesting name. Saranda. It reminds me of Susan Sarandon. What's up, Saranda? So China's economy just got worse. I'm kind of curious. So since we were looking at crypto, let's check it out and see what this is all about.
Weeks ago, I was inspired by creators like Cascades Academy and Graham Stephan to make a video called China's Economy is About to Collapse in 25 days.
How have you been? Rogan and Harl's doing good?
Yeah, Bell's palsy sucks my nuts. I have severe Lyme's disease and I've had it a few times. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Try to keep your ears clean. For some reason, I had an ear infection, and after the ear infection, it came to get Bell's palsy. There's a nerve inside the ear that gets affected. So if there's a way you could keep your ears healthier, do it. You know, if wax is building up in there and you're not cleaning them out, and or if you're shoving wax down in with Q-tips and you're not, that could be a problem too. So make sure you're using, they've got tools to do this with now. Rogan and Harles are doing great. Yeah, they're both doing fantastic. All right, let's find out what's going on with China economy real quick here.
In that video, I talked about China's massive $9 trillion Ponzi scheme that the economy was accused of running. And in that video, people were literally
Really? You know, mine's a little crooked from Bell's palsy too. In fact, I make fun of myself because sometimes I go, I'll try to say F and I'll be F or P or something. You know, my lips will still do that. And they never did that before the Bell's palsy. Palsy almost happened right there. So I've had to relearn to talk differently to try to avoid that. Every once in a while I forget and it gets me again. And I hate when that happens on I call them mouth farts. I hate when that happens on a fucking show, man.
In the streets, asking the banks to give people their deposits back on projects that were never even finished. And today, that video turned exactly 25 days old.
I'm taking a road trip from Tampa to NYC at the end of the month. Maybe I can stop by and burn one with y'all on my way.
That would be fine, Rox. I look forward to meeting you.
Teresa King.
My mom had a stroke and is still having problems with her mouth.
Have you even gone over to visit Docky Hollandaise in Tampa, though? To his hotel? Not that he comes to my shows anymore, so never mind.
Means it is now time to smash the like button for that magic trick because that took no CGI and way too much time. So let me give you an update and see myself out. Now, the Chinese real estate market could see the biggest property crash the world has ever seen, which is why the government has injected another 1 trillion yuan or $145 billion in stimulus. And here's a couple fun facts that are really going to blow your mind because China is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Their GDP, for example, the gross domestic product, which is the thing that measures how much stuff a country makes, grew by 8.1% last year in 2021. Just for context, out of the top 10 most advanced economies in the world, they were the second.
Tells me where he is, though.
Your mom had a stroke, still having problems with her mouth. I'm sorry, Teresa. No, I will if he tells me where he is, though.
Doc isn't at the hotel anymore.
Oh, Phil, what happened with Docky Hollandaise at the hotel? What happened? Oh, he's doing the food truck. Now he's doing a food truck. He's doing a food truck now. Maybe he got mad because I put food trucks down. I called them roach coaches. Oh, that's why he doesn't come to my show anymore. I called food trucks roach coaches. Sorry, Docky. I take it back. I'm sure your food truck is clean and rat, rodent, and roach free. And you know what? I got to give myself credit for that last little statement there. It's kind of funny.
Fastest growing one, right behind India, which grew at 8.9%. But the craziest part is not how fast they've grown, but how they've done it. Because for the last 20 years, the way they've done it...
Yeah, I think I just figured that one out on my own, but thank you for refreshing my memory, Phil. Yes, he's doing the food truck now. I guess he's stopped working at the hotel. I don't know what happened at the hotel. I don't know.
The King.
Food trucks are awesome in Hawaii. Food was good.
Yeah.
Rox 1 SMF.
Is anything in Florida really roach-free, though?
No, nothing is roach-free in Florida.
And it is through real estate.
No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, everybody.
To a value of between 55 to $60 trillion.
Look.
Now, that's a lot of...
I'm going to go like this. Let's try this. Yeah, let's do it like this so you can see me and him simultaneously about the same size, and we'll do a bong rip while we watch Andre Geek. All right?
King. Cheers, running back.
This is Andre Geek. And you guys, his name is really hard to spell, and his channel is really hard to find, but he's great, and he puts out really good content. If you're looking for information about investing and the current state of the economy, both here and abroad, this guy is on top of a lot of it, man. He's on the announcements from the Fed. He explains through different crypto technologies and investments, and he talks a lot about stocks and bonds and different and alternatives to crypto for investing and things like that. This guy's fantastic. He's also a magician, and he's funny. He's a neat guy. Check him out. Cheers.
But how much is that really? Here's how you can think about it. China's real estate market is so big that it is more valuable than the combined net worth of the entire U.S. stock market. And the U.S. stock market is so big that it represents roughly 56% of the world's stock market at $48 trillion. So as big and as powerful and as influential the US stock market is, it is still smaller than China's real estate, which also represents roughly 30% of China's entire economy, which also happens to be the second biggest economy right behind the US. Now, where this story last left off is when China approved a $45 billion stimulus package to help the real estate developers finish building their projects,
Cheers,
as well as
Teresa.
the most recent $145 billion stimulus to help the economy going again. But in today's video, you're going to find out that that amount of money is extremely short in comparison to how much they actually need. And a lot of this is thanks to what's called zero COVID policy, which has had a huge effect on their economy. So with that said, I want to help explain exactly what's going on and how this will affect us, because there's been some new data that's been recently released. So let's get right into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the bubble that never pops. The Chinese economy. So first I want to say that my thoughts go out to the people of China because they've been through a lot. The pain that they're feeling now is pain that will eventually be felt by the rest of the world, because even the founder of Huawei, which is China's largest privately owned company, said that this collapse will be felt by the rest of the world globally for the next decade. And so far, here's the damage.
That's us.
Over 60 real estate developers are drowning in over $13 billion of bond repayments that are due this year. Consumer confidence in China is also at a multi-decade low, and it's estimated that China's property sales will go down 30% before the year ends, which is worse than 2008 when they crashed 20%. But actually, the data shows that the situation is a lot worse than economists first predicted, because so far, home sales in China are already down 40%. And the Chinese government knows that it needs to pivot out of real estate and start investing in something else really fast. But the problem is that roughly 70% of China's wealth is already tied up in real estate. Now look, I know you've probably seen a ton of these videos about China and the collapse of their economy, but the most interesting thing is that no one really understands how big this problem actually is. So I looked around and I found some really interesting data that helped explain it to me. Check it out. On average, it's known that it takes about 3 years to fully finish building a project. So if we assume that a developer starts 100 projects in year 1, we know that by year 4, just 3 years later, they will have an 80% completion rate, meaning 80 of those buildings will be finished and the other 20 will not be. So far, so good. Super straightforward. Now, they looked at China's current completion rate for the years 2021 and 2022, and they found that it was 50%. Now, because economists know roughly how much it costs to build a project and how many of those purchases were financed through mortgages, they were able to cross-reference that 50 and 80% number to figure out the rough scale of how big this problem actually is. And right now, the total value of all the mortgages attached to these unfinished projects is estimated to be 1.6 trillion yuan, or about 1.4% of China's entire GDP, which is massive already and big enough to cause a huge correction. But if we assume this completion rate is allowed to exist of 50% until the end of 2024, that number will jump to 4.4 trillion yuan, or about 4% of China's entire GDP, which would be big enough to be felt by the global economy. And by the way, this is all data thanks to Tom Orlick, who is the author of a book called China, the Bubble That Never Pops. He's also the chief economist at Bloomberg, and I just listened to his podcast interview. It was super nerdy, but that was the TLDR, and that is the closest piece of data that I was able to find that helps explain how big this problem actually is. But now there's a second problem that might cause the collapse of the Chinese economy, and that problem is not Pikachu. It's corporate earnings. Here's how bad they've gotten. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Inflation and the declining economy are extremely stressful for families. And even my own comment section is sometimes flooded with bots trying to scam people. Roughly 4,800 companies just reported their earnings, and their profits are going through a situation that's close to what happened during the global pandemic. For example, in the first half of this year, roughly 900 companies reported a net loss in earnings. Now, to put in perspective just how crazy bad that number is, in 2020, during the global pandemic, when all of the economies were frozen, only 780 companies reported a net loss in profits. And one of the biggest reasons why this is happening is thanks to what's called China's zero COVID policy. This is going to blow your mind. These are just some of the extremes the Chinese government will go to limit the spread of cases. Just put yourself in any of these scenarios. First, if there's a slight outbreak, the government will put the whole city on lockdown. And a lockdown means that no one is able to leave the house after 6 p.m. except for mandatory testing. Testing, which by the way, has already overwhelmed some cities and the grids, leaving people to stand in line for hours. Secondly, no one except for one person per household per day is allowed to go get groceries, and that's only if you have a negative test. Third, if there's a health emergency and you have to leave your house, you can only do so with approval from your local neighborhood committee, which is kind of like having the HOA vote on whether you get to live or not. Fourth, restaurants are to stay closed except for takeout, and it's only supermarkets, hospitals, and pharmacies that are allowed to be.
Let me just say this to the people that are still here watching. Congratulations. He's speaking for just a few minutes on what's going on in China that's going to result in an entire world economic collapse. For the people that left this show, and there was about 10 or 15 people who come in and left, I don't understand how this wouldn't interest you. It affects you, but you've already left, so I'm not talking to you anymore, and you can't hear what's about to happen to you. 2 more people just left. Dude, I don't understand what's wrong with you people, man. You're not curious to find out what's going on with China that's going to cause an entire economic collapse? Yes? It's just a few minutes, a 13-minute video. We're already 8 minutes into it. It just blows my mind, the people that leave this show when we're watching something like this. I mean, you know, it's not like you're talking about crypto prices, and that I understand. It's not.
Yes.
It's not Lincoln. Hey, Frying Squirrel.
Scary.
Right, Teresa? This is some of my audience members. It's not like we're watching Lee Camp talk about some, criminal acts going on, in a war zone on the other side of the planet. We're literally talking about China's economy collapsing, which will, in effect, bring down every economy on the planet. I mean, if you don't think that affects you, and you don't think that's worth watching and learning about, listening to, and maybe getting ready for, or some people like my mother, they feel like they're powerless, that there's nothing you could do. If my sister's the same way. Oh, something bad's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to give up. I'm a fighter, man. I'm a fighter. I don't know how I came from that spawn. I don't understand. I think I was adopted because I want to fight for everything, man, and she just wants to give up her freedom and give up her life or whatever. And not me, man. Not me. I'm fighting, man. And information is the strongest weapon you can possess. Learn about it first. You're not going to sit and learn about what your enemy is, what's coming down the pike, man. How are you going to deal with it? All of a sudden, you go to the gas station, there's no gas. You go to the grocery store, there's no food. You could have been ready for this, man. You could have bought a couple of bags of rice. You could have had some water stored up. But, like I was saying before when I started addressing my audience, if you're one of those people that sees what this is about and decides to tune out and leave, man, when that tidal wave surges over you and destroys your life, your family's life, your friend's life, your neighbors, everybody you love, everything you know, don't come crying to me about it. Because we were sitting here trying to warn you. All you had to do was sit here and watch and get the information from a silly little video that's only 13 minutes long. We're already halfway through it. I just can't imagine the mentality of people that aren't interested in finding out about an economic collapse in China that's going to affect all of us. Fucking weird, man. People are weird. Yeah, I understand you not wanting to sit around with me while I get high and do bong rips and, just talk smack. I get it. But when I'm doing a segment like this and people are leaving, I'm like, mind totally fucking blown. Like my mind was blown about that. There's no race. when I found out about that yesterday. And those of you who missed that show yesterday, you might want to go back and catch that show. And you might be missing too many shows. You may be missing too many shows. Somebody came in here the other day and says, "Yo, Nay, do you still live in California?"
Open and the rest have to stay closed. So
I want to tune in a few more times a week, guys.
People are suffering from this lockdown, and already since August, across 70 cities, more than 300 million people have already been affected by either full or partial lockdowns. And
sorry, I'm a little confused. NY710, you just said morning. This is good news for us all. I'm kind of confused. What exactly is good news for us all? That the entire world economy is about to collapse? I'm a little confused. Kind of explain that one to me.
At some point, the government
talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old so I can understand what you're saying.
Someday end. But even in the case of a natural disaster where an earthquake hit, people were still not allowed to leave their home, and the policy was in effect. And the worst part is that while all of this is happening, the Chinese government is doing everything they can to censor this information from being shared publicly on social media. And as if things could not get worse.
No, they get worse because the people on the receiving end, Andre, they don't even want to hear it, man. They just walk off and leave. It's like, you think it's bad enough that the information isn't coming out? When it trickles out, these people don't even want to hear it, man. I'm trying to help you, though, bro. I'm here. I can't, I can lead them to the water, but I can't shove their heads under it and drown them like they deserve. What can I say?
Through the worst heat wave they've ever had since they started tracking records more than 70 years ago. And this has caused severe drought and power outages for millions of people in China. So for all of those reasons and more is why economists are now predicting China's economy will be a lot worse than they originally thought. So that's where we are now. Now let me give you my personal thoughts about what happens next. This is one of those videos that was kind of hard to make because people have been China's economy for the collapse of the Chinese economy for
all those Bond
now,
USA
it's never
will be even more worthless.
Right, Chris? What's up, buddy? You're right. You're right. It means all those Bond USA printed will be even more worthless, right? It means, bro, we're not going to have technology access like we've had. We're not going to be able to just, come up with plans and send it off to China and have them fucking create something for us or put it on an assembly line for us anymore. We don't have that kind of access to workers and industry here in the United States. We just don't. That's why we outsource so much to China. And if you don't think we do, I want you to pick up something nearby and you tell me how many objects it takes you before you find one of them that says made in China on it. Go ahead.
People have been calling for the collapse of the Chinese economy for literally decades now, except it's never popped. And people have become desensitized to this news because they just assume the Chinese government will just kick the can down the road by printing cheap money, lowering interest rates, and continue to expand their GDP by this pre-sale strategy of selling real estate. But what I think people forget or take for granted is that this strategy only works if people have faith in their system.
Dude, I want to get my mom high. She's never smoked cannabis before in her life. And I'm smoking this orange bud, and I'm like, dude, if she had just a little, just wouldn't even make her cough.
MEGA.
Blah, blah, blah. You're gone. Do you like that? You're gone. Do you like that? Boom. I just shut the whole chat down so we don't have to listen to your bullshit. You like that shit, bro? I do that shit all day. I'll just close the fucking chat out. I'll just close the chat out.
The king. Cheers.
Cheers, Teresa. Do it again, and I'll fucking close the chat out again and reopen it, bro. Actually, I think I'll just fucking block your ass first. He's so funny. That dude comes in, he's like, podcaster recommends my porn channel.
Nation Uncensored. Hi.
Robert. Hi. How are you, buddy? Robert, you ever got your mom high? Boom! Not shots fired. I'm serious. I was just talking about getting my mom high. Have you ever gotten high with Carol, bro? And I'm thinking, I've got this strain, bro. It's called Orange Bud. And it's very uplifting, and it's very clear and present. It's stimulating. It makes me want to talk. It makes me focus. And I'm thinking if my mom just had a little bit of smoke, just a little bit, just to see what it was like, this would be the strain I would want her to try, Orange Bud. It would be the perfect first time smoke for anybody, I think. So fantastic. Anyway, it makes me want to smoke. You make me want to smoke. Get my bong out and smoke. Put some cannabis in my bowl and do a little smoke. Gonna get higher now. I'm getting a little higher now. I'm getting a little higher now. I'm getting a little louder now. Whoa, I said loud. What? Bam! Bam! He says that in the song. Getting a little louder now. Getting a little louder now.
Y710. My mom does dads. Teresa King.
Yeah.
My brother has Parkinson's disease, and I have been wanting to turn him onto it.
NY710, I don't quite understand your posts so far this morning. You haven't been making a lot of sense. So, if you want to join in the conversation and make sense, that would be great. If you're going to sit there and say stuff that doesn't make sense,
One SMF.
it's not.
My mom says it makes her cough. I don't want things that make my body hurt.
Oh,
Har har
your
har.
mom does dabs?
NY710.
I'm like, your mom does dads.
Dabs.
Well, I would hope so. That's how she's a mom, right?
NY710.
She did a dad.
Lol lol.
It made sense. I was just trying to figure out what's that got to do with this conversation. Yeah, your mom had sex with your dad. Okay, great. Oh, your mom does dabs. Oh, well, that's part of the conversation. Okay, my bad. Fucking typo. I'm like, dude, who is this guy all of a sudden not making? So was the other thing you said a typo too? Because it didn't make any sense either. My mom says it makes her cough. I don't want things that make my body hurt. Ha ha ha. No law regarding cannabis. Bottom of the hour. Cheers, everybody. Let's get to the bottom of Andre's opinion on what's going on.
And that's really the biggest thing at stake for the Chinese government, just like it was for us here in the U.S. when we realized that during the 2008 financial meltdown, which was caused by the collapse of real estate, that it was an illusion to believe that real estate could only keep going up forever. And there's an argument to be made that maybe the Chinese people are starting to realize that now as well, that real estate can't keep going up forever. On the other hand, though, because China has 1.4 billion people, it also means their per capita GDP is much lower than it is here in the US. And by the way, I know you probably forgot what that means because I know I did when I was making this video, but the per capita GDP just means if you take the total value of the stuff that a country makes and divide it by the amount of people in a country, you get the per capita GDP. All it does is it measures how productive each person is on average in a given country. And what it ultimately says is that the higher the per capita GDP number is, the higher quality of life the average person gets to enjoy. So for example, here in the US, our per capita GDP is closer to $69,000. In China, though, it is much lower, closer to $11,000. So all this means is that the average person living here in the US is a lot wealthier and has a much higher quality of life than the average person living in China. And the reason that matters is because when there's an economic crisis like there was here in 2008, the average person here in the US was much more prepared to handle that kind of a situation. Whereas in China, because the average person is not enjoying such a high quality of life, that means in certain parts of China, it's going to become extremely difficult, which is very sad considering everything else that the Chinese people have already been through. The truth is that this is an extremely complicated problem, and no matter how the Chinese government decides to solve it, people will end up getting hurt. If the government allows this pre-sale strategy to continue funding over 70% of their real estate market, then the greed will form an even bigger bubble in the future. But if they allow the bubble to burst during the worst heat wave in recorded history, during horrible corporate earnings and massive COVID lockdowns, people could say that they've had enough and they could lose their faith in their economy, which is faith the Chinese government needs people to have to keep the economy going. So it's almost like darned if they do and darned if they don't. Whichever way the chips might fall, I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but I hope that China will recover and the world gets along so that we can go back to having a normal life again. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And again,
Oh, boy, man, that is just crazy. And we saw this coming. And we talked about this on the show a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when I saw another report on the Chinese economy collapse. So I just want to be ahead of it, you know. I want to make sure that you guys are too, that you guys are aware of what's going on in the world and that you know what's coming, man, you know, because the temperature is not going to get any cooler, man. You know, the floods aren't going to stop. The storms aren't going to get any less. We're going to have supply chain dropout and economy collapse. And you guys should all try to start thinking about what you're going to do to survive if you can't go to the 7-Eleven and get a fucking corn dog, you know? So, now what I want to talk to you about this morning was a video that I saw on Twitter, now that we're all here, and I'm glad that you guys are here. So I'll explain. I don't know if I could show the video. I'm not going to show the video. I'm not going to show the video on YouTube because it's literally a video of a murder. So I'm not going to show you. It's an assault then followed by a murder. But you guys know me. You know what the kind of stuff that I show. You guys watch me and follow me on Twitter. You guys have already seen the video if you follow me on Twitter because I shared that video this morning at
Morning Bro.
Hey, what's up, Camille? On Truthier News. So if you want to see the video right now, go to Twitter, all right, and go pull up at Truthier News and go watch my pinned video, of course, it's only 1 minute long, and then scroll down and watch the other video, which is also probably about a minute or less.
One SMF. I'm on disability. I'm experienced at being poor.
So I would think that this video is going all over the internet and that you guys have probably seen it. So this is in Chicago. There's a kid standing facing a wall. I can't tell what he's doing. It looks like he's reading something, maybe a newspaper or something. It's hard to tell. He's just standing there. And a guy comes up behind him and just punches him in the back of the head and knocks him down. Swings, like full swing, and just hits him. And the guy had no idea the dude was coming up behind him. And he just walks and punches the guy. Guy lands on the ground. And then two other guys walk up. The guy that gets knocked down, he gets up. This all happens in 10 seconds from the time the punch is thrown. In 10 seconds later, that guy gets up, walks to the door, which was 3 steps away, right? Opens up his backpack, pulls out a gun, and shoots the guy in the neck and kills him. Boom. It's graphic, bro. It's graphic. And you guys can go, like I said, you go to Truthier News and go see that video right now. It's crazy. You can see the blood going down the guy's back, pouring down the guy's back. And you can see him get up. After he gets shot, he gets up, he takes a couple steps, falls down, just boom, falls down flat on his back. He's done. But the guy that got shot is the dude that walked up to somebody and punched him in the back of the head. Right? So there's a lot to cover there. You know, there's a 10-second time span before the guy pulled out the gun and murdered. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a murder. And killed the guy. But now you already know how I feel about this. In my opinion, it wasn't a murder. And just real quick, I could walk you through this really slow. And I don't like to do that to people now. I don't like to make you wait. I'm going to tell you, fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out.
Looks like the dude that punched somebody in the back of the head fucked around and found out. And look.
It's epic.
That's exactly
self-defense.
Where I'm at. Exactly, Chris. And I'm going to explain why it's self-defense. You stick around, I'm going to explain why it's self-defense, why it was a good shoot, and why what happened should be a lesson to people to not go around punching people. Because folks have guns today. Don't be stupid and go out there assaulting people like you think you're some kind of a badass. I'm going to go up and punch somebody in the back of the head when they're not looking at me. You know, the guy got exactly what you would expect him to get if he did that to somebody. And there's a lot of people on the internet who disagree with this opinion. They think that, boy, that guy murdered that dude. I mean, he could have just run out the door. He could have just, he could have done this. He could have done that. He should have done this. He should have done that. First thing I'll say about that is coulda, shoulda, woulda. Within a time period of 10 seconds, you've just been assaulted. You've just been knocked on the ground. You've just been almost knocked the fuck out unconscious. And if you'd been knocked unconscious, no telling what would have happened to your body. No telling if the guy that knocked you unconscious would have taken your bag, taken your gun out, and killed you with it.
One SMF.
You don't know. This is all in 10
Assume
seconds.
everyone is armed.
You got
and
10
go to your
seconds.
dick.
1, 2. Oh, you just got knocked out. 3. Okay, you better get up. 4. What are you gonna do? I don't know. 5. You better
I had a
run.
group
6.
of
You got
teens
far
that
one. No
punched me
way
in
from
the
the
side of
7.
the head
8.
and
Okay,
knocked me
kill the
out.
guy before he fucking comes back
Out
at
of
you
the
again.
blue.
Time's up.
For nothing.
Dude's dead. That's how much time there was.
Teresa
10
King.
seconds. I
Gossip
counted it
name.
in my head because
Headed to breakfast with my son.
I'm a fucking Vulcan with the seconds. I can count seconds like that. And I didn't use a stopwatch. I just counted in my head 10 seconds. And sure enough, from the time the punch was thrown, I counted exactly 10 seconds to the time the trigger was pulled. And so it's 10 seconds of time. And a jury should look at the fact that within 10 seconds, you've been assaulted. Somebody may have just tried to murder you. You only have 10 seconds to figure out what you're going to do. And in that sort of a situation, you know, if I don't understand the possession of the gun, if he had a legal gun, I don't know. I got a whole thing around that too, whether the gun is legal or illegal. For instance, what that judge did to Kyle Rittenhouse, he ruled the gun was illegal. It was an illegal gun. And the gun was obtained illegally by Kyle Rittenhouse. It was brought across state lines illegally by Kyle Rittenhouse. The judge ruled that out. He said, no, I'm going to rule all that out. We're going to forego that. So we're going to make it a legal gun. So depending on what a judge does in that case, that might be a legal gun. That kid that pulled the trigger, that might have been his gun. He might have been licensed to have it. He could have been in an area where he was allowed to possess a gun. And he was allowed to have a gun on him for that very reason. You know, I see I've lost some viewers. So, you know, if you guys disagree with me and that's why you're leaving, you know, speak up. This is an opinion piece. This is your time to disagree with me. This is the problem. Those people are leaving because they're hearing me and they know, dude, that makes total sense. I can't even argue with him. I got to go because I'm going to try to argue that was murder and he's going to shoot me down in 1 second
different
because
subjects.
he's making nothing but sense right
Possession
now. And I don't
BS
want to hear it. I don't want to
self-defense.
hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to swipe 17, 13. Okay. I got you. Yeah. So let's say the judge waives the legality of the gun like they did in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Well, maybe it is an illegal gun. We don't know. Now, my opinion, if the gun is illegal, still a legal shoot to me. He's got to do whatever the penalty is for possessing an illegal gun. And if that is you get probation. Okay, then he's got to do probation for having an illegal gun, whatever that charge is. Because to me, a felony was not committed by him. So he wasn't in possession of a firearm while committing a felony. He was protecting himself. Somebody just tried to kill him. As far as he could perceive, he wasn't looking. He didn't know. The next thing that could have happened is those 3 guys could have jumped him. He didn't fucking know. And as far as I'm concerned, this is my opinion. When your life is in danger and you're living in a country that allows you to have a firearm for this reason, that's the kind of situation where you should pull that gun out and use it. People were like, well, why didn't he shoot him in the leg or the arm or why did he shoot him in the neck, man? Why was he shoot him to kill him? And then people's arguments were, well, they do train people to kill because the person that you shoot might have a gun on them. They might get up, blah, blah, blah. You need to shoot to kill. And that's not even on the table. Where he hit that guy with the bullet's not even on the table as far as I'm concerned. That's a great argument, but it's not worth having. You have 10 seconds to respond. And then my next question would be, when someone is trying to kill you, what's the time limit on defending yourself? So let's say I'm out in I'm in a street fight, and somebody's trying to smack my head on the ground. So I get up, right, and I run, and they're chasing me. Let's say the chase goes on for 20 seconds, but I make it to my truck, I pull out my Glock and go pop, pop, and he's dead. 20 seconds, though. You see, so it's all going to be about the situation, what was going on at that specific time. There's a lot of people who look at that and say, hey, man, you know what? That guy could have just run out the door and left and diffused the situation. the argument to that is when someone punches you in the head, knocks you down, it seems like they're trying to kill you. Do you want to turn your back on them and run away from them and allow them to do it to you again? What's going to stop that guy from chasing you down and punching you in the back of the head again? You don't know. Hey, man, the assailant gave the guy who pulled the trigger no choice. You go up to somebody, you punch them in the back of the head, you knock them down. You just gave that person no choice. I don't care how much time goes by. Well, I don't care if it was a minute. Maybe he got knocked out. Maybe he gets up and a minute later, dude's still there and he pulls out a gun and kills the guy. Good. Self-defense. Good shoot. Fuck around and find out. I love it. I love it. That's what guns are for. That gun was working properly. Or are you going to go sue the fucking gun manufacturer because the guy was able to save his own life? Hey, man, go watch the video. Go watch the video. I got to tell you, it's a good watch. That's why I retweeted it. And it's at Truthier News right now on the internet. You guys can all go watch that video. It's right there. You know, I've told you to follow me on Truthier News. Truthier News right now. Boom. Go see the video on Twitter. Go follow the greatest fucking news podcast / source of information and opinion you're going to find anywhere on the planet. Truthier News. Truthier.news for the full experience. What do you guys think?
Lucas Romick. Hi, Nays.
Lucas Romick. What's up, Lucas? Fantastic beard, bro. Look at you. Look at that. Where do you live, bro? Lucas, where do you live, buddy? That is an interesting cut to the beard. It's an interesting angle you're taking there, my friend. Hey, you guys, when you go to Truthier News and you go watch the video of the dude getting killed that punched somebody in the back of the head, give it a like and a retweet, please. Poland, welcome, my friend.
Poland.
I've got like a quarter Polish, brother. One quarter Polish. Will you please give it a like and a retweet? And while you're there, like my pin tweet, guys, and all that stuff. Go ahead, man. You guys retweet it. It's over at Truthier News on Twitter, guys. Go over there. What are you waiting for? You can all go there right now. Just go pull up do you guys all have access to web browsers? Go to a web browser, go to twitter.com/Truthier News. You know, I'll give you a direct link to the channel. Scroll down and find the one that says "Good Shoot, Goodbye." That's the video. You got to expand the potentially sensitive content. But hey, man, at least Twitter will let you put something like that on your channel. You can't do that shit on YouTube or Facebook. But it's up on my Twitter feed right now, guys. Go check it out. I'm telling you. You know, I am not into morbid shit. I don't like watching people get hurt. I don't like watching people get killed. I don't like violence. I'm a very peaceful person. This is a teaching moment, and it's important that people see this so they understand it. So you understand this is not how you treat other human beings. And this is the kind of response that can happen to you if you go around doing shit like this. And the more people that see that video, the less that shit's going to happen. I guarantee you, somebody's going to be like, man, you know, maybe not. Maybe not today. I don't want to get shot in the neck. You know? Yeah, it's a great deterrent for violence. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, everybody. Please, go give it a like. Go give the video a like and a retweet. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for you guys to give that video a like. It says, It says good hashtag good shoot, hashtag goodbye. There's another one. I tweeted it twice. This was a good shoot. We will cover it on the morning show. It's got 2 likes and 3 retweets. Head on over, guys. Yeah. Yes. Run on over to Twitter and go do it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing those numbers jump up right now. Gave you guys a direct link in the chat. Let's do this. Let's do it. Cheers.
aka Trendiolker. Nay is the truth.
Sean, will you please go do that? Go to Truthier and go like and retweet those tweets, please. One of them says hashtag good shoot, hashtag goodbye. The other one says this was a good shoot. We will cover it on the morning show. The link is in the chat. You can go directly there. It's got 1 like, and you know who liked it? Rocks. She liked it. She went over there and liked it.
aka Trendiolker. Hash keep it open.
2 likes. Somebody liked it. Who did it? Woodchuck Montrose. Montrose Wood. Thank you, Woodchuck Montrose, if you're in the chat. Yeah, got another like. What? Now if he would just retweet it. Rock says today in Fuck Around and Find Out, self-defense. Love it. I got 32 likes on my other tweet and a follow. Pfft. $316 views on my video. Give podcasters back their voices. Nice, huh? 316 views. It's a 1-minute video that I made. It's great. I'll show it to you guys. Again, here it is.
Lock this down. We're live on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central Time. Good to see everybody. You are in.
$316 views, dude. It's better than my YouTube videos get. There you go. Had to pay for it. Paying the money so Twitter will let people see my material. Hypocrites. Yeah, let's throttle him back to 0 so no one, not even his own followers, will get notified that he put something up on Twitter. But 71 likes, 14 retweets. The retweets are Cyber Reload, David Campione, of course. And that's it from the show. All the other retweets are from people I don't know. So that's from Give Podcasters Back Their Voices. You guys could go to Twitter and retweet this for me too. You know, just retweet my tweets for me, guys. Retweet, fuck around and find out. Self-defense. There we go. Okay. Go like all my tweets, Sean. Like, I've got in the past 2 weeks, over 800 people died in Florida due to 3 airliners crashing. Oh, my bad. Checks notes. That was COVID, actually. Thanks, Ron DeSantis. That's got 3 likes and no retweets. Good shoot, goodbye has 2 likes. This was a good shoot. We will cover it in the morning show. 3 likes. So I'm just going to go back to Twitter and wait for this shit to get likes and not do any more shows until I start getting some attention on Twitter. I don't know why you guys won't do this. But, you know, if you're wondering why I'm not live anymore, it's going to be because you guys aren't going to Twitter and just hitting like and retweet for me. So I'm not asking you of anything. I could sit here and party with you for hours. I'm just asking you to one favor for me. So no more shows until these fucking videos start getting seen by y'all, you guys, my audience members. Okay. I'm sick of having to pay for people to hit like when I got, 20, 30 people sitting here watching my show every day and you guys could do it for me. So go to Twitter, find Truthier News, go follow the Truthier News, go like all the tweets, go retweet all the tweets, leave comments, retweet them some more, go like all the other tweets and replies, and, no more shows until I start seeing some activity from y'all. And I'm not just talking about Sean and Nick,
aka Trendy Orca.
and Rocks. I'm talking
Just
about
gave
all
your
of you
tweet
guys.
the Orca seal of approval, lol.
I'm getting sick of this. I'm sitting here telling you guys, go over here and like it. I give you a fucking direct link. And none of you went over there to like it with a direct link, except for Sean. Thank you, Sean. But, I expect Sean to like my tweets anyway. So, like I said, man, I'd love to sit here and smoke with you guys, but this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
Gotti 1220. What's up, bro? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Rugatti. Kid playing knockout game in Chicago, F's around and finds out B. That's from 55 minutes ago. It's got 1 like. Why? Why haven't 10 of you gone through there and liked it? Like, retweet. Why is this so hard? I don't understand this. So, whatever. I'd love to sit here and get high with y'all. I'd sit here for another 2 or 3 hours. I would. Because I got, the only thing I got to do is go out and garden, which is what I'm going to go do now. But because you guys don't want to go run over to Twitter for me really quick and click a couple of buttons, I'm not going to do any more shows. All right? I'm calling a fucking boycott on my audience until I see all of you over on Twitter.com supporting Truthier News. At Truthier News. Okay? This is it. Bye, guys. That's the goodbye music. Enjoy it. Last time you're going to hear it in a long time, unless you get your asses over to Twitter. This is bullshit. Rocks, thank you. Woodchuck Montrose. I don't know why he's liking my stuff if he's in the chat or not. I'm not hearing from him. Sean Days, 3 of you.
X1 SMF. Have a good day.
Where's the rest of you? Where's the rest of you? I don't understand what I have to do to get you guys to come over here and do this shit on a freaking little app on your phone. or a fucking website. Go to a goddamn, open up a browser window and go to twitter.com/truthier news. How hard is that, man? Nick Brown's been doing that for years. Whatever.